What's your name?
My name's Mark.
I know your last name, but last name?
Oh, Bellan. B-double-L-H-A-N.
Cool. And I think we'll start by Christine.
What was your childhood like?
What was it like? Well, I guess I was kind of a toddler, a young boy in sort of late 70s. So I remember I lived on the edge of a town, so I had the kind of best of both worlds really. I grew up in a kind of town environment, but I spent a lot of time in the country as well. Bike rides, just hanging out, building dens, that kind of thing. So yeah, a mixture of both the town upbringing and the country upbringing.
So you weren't brought up in New Zealand?
No. I should mention probably I was born in the UK, in the Midlands, in a town called Northampton, which is kind of a larger town. It's not a city. It's like a market town, they would call it. But as I say, quite a big town.
Okay. So, what made you decide to come to New Zealand?
Oh, all sorts of reasons, really. My wife's family are here. Although they're not Kiwis, they're Brits as well. But they immigrated. Her brother married a Kiwi 12 years ago.
Yeah.
That started the ball rolling. And then their parents retired and came over. And we came over for holidays and enjoyed ourselves. But we were quite happy in England. And then our young son arrived just under 2 years ago now. And we thought it'd be nice for Eleanor to spend some time with her family and obviously spend some time with her son. And just see what happens, really. It's kind of a 5-year adventure for us, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah. So did you go to university over in England?
Yes, I did. I went straight from school, actually. I went to Sunderland University, which is in the northeast of England, and I did environmental technology.
Oh, really?
You may be surprised to hear, but I had different ideas when I was 18. I finished that course. I did okay. But then after that, so I went travelling for a bit, and then I did go back to university for a second time, and that's when I did photography. A change of path. So, but yeah, so.
How is Long Bay different to the UK?
How is Long Bay different? Well, in terms of my teaching, well, I would say, I mean, really, I taught at sort of tertiary level in the UK, so. It was much more sort of art college environment, whereas of course the school here covers all sorts of subjects. So you do tend to meet different kinds of teachers, of course, more so than I may have done in the past. I think because I taught slightly older students as well, they were quite clear about their ambitions, whereas you guys, you're still kind of trying to work out what it is you're going to do next. So there's different kinds of conversations that I have with students here. But certainly the environment's very nice.
There should be no talking at the front.
So yeah, it's different. I don't want to say it's more relaxed. That's probably saying, it sounds like you're a bit more lazy. You're not lazy, but you're certainly there's something less frantic about the teaching here. Whereas I think that's down to numbers to a certain extent. A lot of schools in the UK are bigger. And actually, the one thing I suppose is they don't offer my subjects at secondary school level in the UK generally. So that's quite interesting for me to see how you guys respond to photography in this environment.
So what made you want to become a photographer?
Well, I started taking photographs properly, I suppose, when I was about 13. I used to go to a lot of motor racing with my uncle and my cousin, and they always took pictures. So, on my 13th birthday, I got a camera, and I just taught myself, or they taught me, and I learned as I went. I never thought it would be a career as such, or something that I could do as a career. But anyway, so I dropped that, as you know, and I went to do an environmental degree. But then a bit of travelling and a few more photographs later, I kind of thought maybe this is something I should do. So I went back to do another course. Whilst doing that, though, I assisted a photographer in London. Yeah. And so I gained a lot of experience through working with him. And I thought, great. But then, the freelancing career is a tenuous one sometimes. Yeah. I did a bit of that. But whilst I was doing that, I did a master's degree, which has enabled me to teach, as well as do my freelance work. So. kind of a mixture of the two now, really.
What do you like about living in New Zealand?
Well, you've got a beach around every corner, for starters. That's not so common in the UK, although I lived on the coast in the UK for the last 3 years. But yeah, it's good to have that kind of outdoors life, which I think everyone says about New Zealand, but it's certainly true. It's not a cliche. I think you guys have got access to all sorts of things. There's a sporting culture that I was always aware of, but I think it's much more established at a younger age here. More of you seem to be doing that by choice rather than being forced. Yeah. And I think that there's a general mentality of let's have a go, let's try. Whether it's in business or whether it's living or working or whatever, you seem to sort of sit down and have a conversation and say, okay, let's try. A bit more than you may do in other countries. So yeah, that's quite a nice thing to have seen.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question.